Now this is the all-new Porsche Macan, and I reckon it's the world's best...
Hang on a second, Albors. Here we go again. Best SUV in the world. You've already put your order in for the new Macan. Have a look at this. This is the new BMW X4. It's got a BMW badge. It's got an M Sport badge. BMW's renowned for ride and dynamics. I think this has got a great chance up against the Macan.
I reckon you haven't got a hope in hell.
Well, I tell you what, let's put it to the test.
Do you honestly reckon your X4 looks better than my Macan?
Look, style is in the eye of the beholder, Albors, and maybe if you squinted a bit more, you might agree.
You'd have to be half blind, mate. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, what is this? Look at the gap here. I could fit my whole head in here.
It's supposed to be a sports utility vehicle.
Mate, there's no off-roading going on here. There's a 20-inch wheels.
Well, then you've got room for 24s with that gap.
And look at this busy lines going through the door, man.
Style. It's a styling exercise.
Oh, and look at this. What is this? This is like an added-on sports pack.
That's the M Sport pack.
The M Sport pack.
It's the M Sport pack.
Completely tacked on. It's like someone has super glued it on. And look in here, someone forgot to paint it.
They did, but if I stand here, you can't see it.
Oh, mate. Let's have a look at that Macan.
Let's take the Macan. Now take a look at this, Albors. Look at the front of the car. Guess what? It looks like every other Porsche.
Yeah, because it looks good.
What about this black plastic?
That's not, okay, that's plastic. Yeah,
Best SUV in the world, black plastic.
It is, I swear.
Look at that black plastic.
It's not, it looks like carbon fiber. Yeah, it's okay, it's plastic.
I'll tell you what though, the wheels, they are fantastic.
They are
I've got to
fantastic.
give you that.
They are fantastic. 2 4.5s in the front, mate, and 2 9.5s on the rear.
Massive.
It's incredible.
Massive. Now speaking of things that are too big, what about those silly big exhausts?
Silly big, man.
Look at the size of them.
It looks like a 911 from the rear. If it had a spoiler, you wouldn't know the difference.
Tail lights, they're 911, aren't they?
They're beautiful, but you know what, mate? The outside is one thing, but the best is inside.
Let's take a look.
How good is this?
Well, it depends on how you look at it, mate. I mean, look at this. Is this 7 inches?
Yeah, but you know, it's a nice high-resolution screen.
I reckon if they had sat-nav in the 1960s, the display would have looked like that.
Look, I know. Yeah, all right. Okay, fine. The sat-nav isn't great, but the screen, it fits nicely into the cabin. You got all these beautiful buttons around here. And
I tell you what, what's really cool, there's a little trapdoor here, and look what's beneath it. Oh, it's a CD player. It looks great until you get to here, and then it's extremely busy.
You know what I love about it is that it's sort of like the same as every other Porsche. So your cheapest Porsche you can buy currently has got the same interior as the most expensive Porsche.
That's true.
I reckon that's a win.
The steering wheel is very, very cool.
Let's check out the back. How good's this, man? I've got heaps of room back here.
Yeah, look, it is tight. I have to say that. I do have enough leg room.
I've got my own temperature controls back here.
You'd want to have. How much does that cost?
Oh, about $900, but it's worth the money. It's a Porsche. You tick all the option boxes. Look, I've got a little power down here.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, yeah, it's not that big. You certainly wouldn't fit a third adult in here.
Not comfortably.
And if you get rid of this $3,000 sunroof, you'd have even more headroom.
Yeah. What about this other feature? Show me how this works.
Man, look at this. You just press this button and push it forward. You know, like your missus would love this.
Yeah, if you sit differently, you can have that set to wherever you want it.
I could do this all day.
Now, you're going to find this hard to believe, but the tussle between these cars is so tight that the boot space is identical.
Identical? That is rubbish, man. Open it up and I'll show you what I mean. Now, have a look here. Both of them do have electric tailgates, which I love, I gotta say.
That is
good.
But
mine comes out, yours goes in. I reckon you could actually fit the luggage of 4 adults in this, and I doubt you could do it in that one.
That may be true, but what I do like is the flat floor. I think that's great. It's a little lower than the lip, but that's okay. I really like the 2-piece luggage cover. I think that's clever.
That's true, and I've also noticed you've got a rail system there, which makes me a little bit jealous, but I bet I can tick one of those 4,000 option boxes and get it in the Porsche as well. But you know what, let's get inside. I want to check out the X4's interior. I thought we were in an X4, Trent. This looks like a 1 Series.
The key with BMW is that you know what you're going to get.
It's like McDonald's.
True. Reliable. Very reliable. How good's the steering wheel?
The M steering is fantastic. I got to give you that. And I've got to say, this sat-nav system is a generation ahead of the Porsche.
Absolutely. We're 8.8 inches against 7 for the Porsche.
The iDrive system is fantastic. And this little button thing you got going on here is really nice to use. All much better controls. I'm just not a big fan of this. It just looks, I don't know, doesn't look BMW.
I think the minimalist look, for me, is a little bit better than the million buttons that the Porsche has got, but that's a personal opinion. This gets the brushed aluminium too, like the Porsche, so the trim looks fairly classy. It doesn't look cheap.
No, it definitely doesn't look cheap.
Let's check the room in the back seat, because that's important. There is more room than I thought back here. I've got about the same headroom I had in the Porsche, and this is my driving position and I can still fit my knees.
I'm not sure about this. There's this weird cup holder thing going on here.
That's not very good.
And this sort of, what is that, out of a Hyundai?
It's out of a Hyundai, maybe, yeah. I've saved $900 though that you spent on your climate control, so I'm happy with that.
$900 well spent. Well, I'm going over some relatively ordinary roads here, and can you feel anything through the chassis?
No, not at all. It's very insulated in here, and it has to be said, not a noise, not a squeak, not a rattle from the interior. It feels like it's carved from a piece of stone, this Macan.
Yeah, Porsche's got some excellent reliability credentials, and this Macan seems like it's just following suit, despite its relatively low price tag.
Beautifully put together. It doesn't feel at all cheap in any way, shape or form.
So both these cars, mate, have got a 3-litre 6-cylinder engine. This has got twin turbos. That one's got a single twin scroll turbo. This has got about 250 kilowatts, 480 newton meters. That's a bit more than the X4. Now, this has got a 7-speed gearbox. The other one's got an 8. But I gotta tell you, man, the way that the engine and the transmission work together in this car is just sensational.
Yeah, the gear shifts are seamless, even from the passenger seat, but I think the real key on this kind of road is that 480 newton meters, and it's where the power and torque is developed in the rev range that just makes this such a great driver's car.
Absolutely, Matt. And you know what? For under 100 grand, I'm not really sure if this is just the best sports SUV, but I actually think it's one of the best sports cars for the money too.
Very hard to argue the toss, and it's hard to believe that you can drive this like a sports car, because really this offers levels of performance from an SUV that were unheard of 10 years ago.
You know, Trent, I've got to be honest, I've been harping on about how good the ride is in that Macan, but I'm really comfortable sitting here.
And for me, the biggest issue is that both these cars are riding on 20-inch wheels, which are quite large, and they're wide cross-section tyres too, and they soak up the bumps beautifully.
So Trent, 90,000 bucks, mate. Both these cars are within a few $100 of each other, but I haven't changed my mind. I'm still going to go with the Porsche Macan. I think it's the better car, but you know what? I'm really impressed with that X4. It's a lot better than I thought it would be.
You make a good point, Albors, and look, I've been impressed by the X4. I think the Macan is every bit as good as we hoped it would be.
And also the Porsche badge, mate. I reckon that's got to be worth a bit more than that BM badge.
Well, it's got to be worth something, and that's the question people have to ask themselves. For $90,000, would you prefer to have a Porsche or a BMW badge in the driveway?
Yeah, and you know what? You might not have a choice, because this Macan is currently got a long wait list, so that's a pretty good second choice.
I'm particularly impatient, so while you wait up to 12 months for your Macan, I think I'd have to jump straight into my X4.